Hey, what's going on? Charles Austin here, and let's be fit forever. Real quick, yeah, I was supposed to be doing this stream on Monday, but for whatever reason, I literally turned my light on, turned my camera on. I literally put my screens up, and as soon as I did all that, bam, I got hit in the face with a migraine. Boy, it was terrible. So that happens sometimes. But I'm back here on Wednesday. Again, we do these streams every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time. We do them also on Saturdays at 1 p.m. Central Time. All right. And today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about squats, right? Anybody who ever has done any type of training, any exercise, any fitness, anybody who had goals of firming up those glutes, right? All of those different things, right? You've done squats, you've heard about squats, if you've tried squats. So I'm going to go ahead and show you everything you need to know and actually tell you how to do these squats, what you shouldn't be doing, and kind of give you some general overview and guidance on squats. All right. But before we do that, as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel. All right. Like this video, turn those notifications on so that you're always up to date with the latest content here on my channel. Again, we're streaming every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central and Saturdays at 1 p.m. Central Time as well. All right. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. Only took me a minute for that intro. I love to do a quick little intro and jump right in because I don't like to waste time. All right. So real quick, what are the benefits of squats? Right. So as it says here, you know, obviously, folks, squats are not for athletes, right? Not just for, right? Anybody can do squats as long as you're healthy and you don't have any bone or joint issues. I actually recommend it. Definitely, by all means, do squats, all right? You can do them as part of your regular exercise routine, all right? And some of the benefits, right, is obviously strengthening your lower body, right? And targeting your glutes and your quads, right? One of the things squats also do is they help make you use your core muscles. So you're going to be increasing your strength, your stability, and the stamina in your core region. And of course, whenever we say that word core, we're really talking about our abs, our lower abs, our obliques, and our lower to middle back, right? Those are the parts of our body that helps us with our stability and our balance, right? So other muscles that benefit from squats include your hips, your calves, your hamstrings. Again, we already talked about your core. As you can see there, your obliques, okay? Now, the other cool thing about squats is, yes, since it is a compound movement, and we've talked about this before on other videos, but since squats are a compound movement, they might even help you burn extra calories to help you lose weight. So compound movement basically means, if you're new to that term, that you're going to be using multiple muscles at once. Okay, so in this example, when you're doing a squat, you're going to be using things like your thighs. You're going to be using your quads, which is on the front part of your thigh, your hamstrings, right? You'll use your calves, your glutes. And again, we already talked about engaging your core, your abs, and your back, right? So many muscles working together in concert. And depending on the type of squat you'll be doing, you may even engage your upper body as well. Okay. So the cool thing about this is, as you continue to lose weight and get stronger, now you're going to be lowering your risk for causing injury to your lower legs, right? Your knees and your ankles, right? So the stronger you get, the better you get at squatting. The more the healthier your weight is, the less likely you're going to have injury, right? Other good benefits of squatting and other strength training exercises as well is you're strengthening your tendons, bones, and your ligaments. And these are all the things that kind of surround parts of our lower body and our legs, right? So something I did want to make sure that I did touch on as well is this part right here, right? And again, this is specific to weight-bearing exercise, right? And when we say weight-bearing exercise, we're talking about any type of exercise that forces you to hold your body weight up, right? An example would not be sitting, right? So we're talking about things where you're upright, you're walking, you're moving, and of course, squatting. So squats help boost your bone mineral density for stronger bones, and it helps improve the strength and health of your skeleton. So all good things, even your flexibility, because you got to think about it. If you're going into that motion, I'm going to show y'all some images here in just a second, but that motion of squatting over and over again, you're causing extra extension and contraction of those muscles. And over time, that can also help with your overall flexibility. So last but not least, y'all, not only do you have lots of health benefits for your internal body, your muscles, your joints, your bones, but hey, guess what? That can help you feel and look good too. So everybody knows in the industry and the way industry is now, everybody's always trying to shape their thighs and the butt, right? So of course, squatting helps shape your legs, your butt, all these areas, in order to have that, firm bottom that you're hopefully going for, right? Okay, so plenty of benefits associated with, what is that? Yeah, see, it's not time for the questions just yet. Okay, sorry, phone. Not time for the questions just yet. Remember, we will do Q&A at the end of of class, but not just yet. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. Here I go. Sorry. All right. So plenty of benefits. Like I said, in addition to the things that's going on internally, but also externally as well. So how the heck do we even do squats? Oh, I don't want to subscribe, right? So how do we do squats? And again, we're trying to avoid injury. We're trying to do the squats properly to actually get the benefits that we need, right? So let's see, where do we start here? Yeah, so proper form. And I'm going to show y'all some images here in just a second, but I actually did want to at least talk you through it, because one of the things that I've always noticed, if I'm at the gym, or if I'm just scrolling through social media, right, I see people, and remember I did a video. I see these influencers, right, or people who literally just started training, and they, and I'm not, no disrespect, they just don't know what they're doing, right? There's a lot of things that we start for the first time and we don't know what we're doing, right? And speaking of, I did a video on the top 5 mistakes that you make when you're exercising. So I put a link into the description of this video, so you can check that as well. And one of the things I do talk about is making sure you're not following those influencers all the time, because most of the time they don't know what they're talking about, right? But anywho, so I wanted to make sure that I actually talked you through how to do a squat, so that the next time you start your exercise routine, you know exactly what to do, right? So, anyway, sorry. So, number 1, right? You want to make sure that you adjust your stance based on this is super important, because a lot of times you may be at a gym where a coach or an instructor is telling you to put to place your legs a certain way, just like everybody else. Like, I've seen this so many times where the coach or the trainer is saying, everybody put your feet and your legs like this. Well, everybody's legs are not the same. Everybody's hips are not the same. Everybody's feet and their knees are not the same. So you want to make sure you adjust your stance based on your leg mobility, all right? So yes, you do want to generally, as a general rule, be about shoulder width apart with your feet. And yes, you do want your toes facing forward, but they can possibly go out a little bit. Some people like to be square, and some people might even be a little bit inward, just depending on the way their leg mobility is. So you do want to have about shoulder width apart, but make sure you're adjusting your foot position based on the way your legs work. Okay. Also, you want to imagine like there's a seat, right? So we know how it is when we get ready to take a seat. If we're going to go sit on the couch, sit at the kitchen table, whatever it may be, imagine that you're going to have a seat at one of those locations. And, as it says here on your inhale, you're going to, as they always say, engage your core, right? You're going to push your hips back. Now, this is great. This is great step-by-step instructions, because one of the things I always coach is when you get ready to squat, the first thing you do is stick your butt back, okay? So I always say it, I get straight to the point. I'm always like, hey, y'all, get ready to do these squats. All right, feet shoulder width apart. Okay, adjust your foot position that's comfortable for you. That's how I coach it, right? And then I say, all right, y'all, get ready to bend at the hips, stick your butt out. Okay, so as it says here, we want to push our hips back before we do anything with our lower body, with our legs, right? So we're going to be pushing our hips back like we're lowering into a chair. And then as you squat down, your upper body should never fall forward. You kind of want to keep it at an angle. Again, we're going to show you some pictures in just a second, okay? Neutral spine basically means there's no arching or hunching, right? So again, focus on your alignment. You want to keep your torso upright and press your knees outward and distribute your weight evenly. Now this part is important. So far, here's the highlights if y'all missed it, because sometimes I get excited on certain topics and I talk fast, right? Start standing feet shoulder width apart based on your leg mobility. Then the next thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you push your hips back as if you're going to sit into that invisible chair. Then the next thing, we're going to distribute that weight evenly between both feet during the motion, okay? And what this means is we don't want to have too much weight on our toes. We don't want to have too much weight on our heels. We want to have it even, all right? Generally, I will coach that we want to keep the weight on the middle part of our feet and back, okay? And also, if you can, sometimes you might even try to curl your toes up just a little bit. It takes a little bit more balance, but it makes for a better squat, okay? And then again, you're going to continue lowering until your thighs are at least parallel with the floor. Not necessarily. I kind of like to go just above 90. All right, so when they're saying parallel, they're basically saying, you know, kind of right parallel with the ground. But I kind of like to be just above 90 just to keep it safe, just to make sure everybody can get back up, because sometimes people get down and then they stay there, right? And we don't want that to happen. And basically at that point, you're going to press, like I said, through your heels and back. I'm sorry, through your middle part of your foot and back, and work yourself back up and then put it on repeat. So as you see in the image, excellent example of a squat. As you can see, she starts bending at the hips first. She has her weight evenly distributed on her each foot, and it's a beautiful squat. Okay, so let's talk about some mistakes. Okay, so these are some of the things that you'll see, or maybe you've done, maybe you've noticed that you've done it before, or something that you used to do that you corrected, right? I really like this list because what I did is I found this list and I just said, let me pick and choose from the stuff that the stuff that I actually want to go through, right? So here's one: not breathing and bracing properly, right? So a lot of times when we squat, when we're going through that down phase, we're blowing air out, and when we're going on that up phase, we're breathing air in. That's opposite, right? So you want to make sure that as you're lowering your body down, that you're actually taking that air in, because you're going to need to expel that air when you get ready to force yourself back up against gravity, right? So definitely keep that in mind, all right? We talked about foot placement already. This is a big one. Heels lifting off the ground. Never. Okay? The only time it's acceptable to lift your heels off the ground is if you're doing ballet training, bar training, plie squat, stuff like that. Okay? I love taking bar classes. So that is kind of the exception. Sometimes in yoga and Pilates and things of that nature, when there's specific guidance about that type of movement. But 99.9% of the time, heels should never leave the ground during a squat. Okay? Also, good one here, not squatting to depth. What are they talking about here? Well, sometimes people get too low or they don't get low enough. All right? So again, if you get too low, now you're overstretching your patellar tendon and your knees. If you don't get low enough, well, now you have an issue where you're not getting any gains from the exercise, right? What else? Oh yeah, doing a good morning squat. You know what? Let me find one real quick so I can show y'all what I'm talking about. Let's see, good morning squat. Let's see if we can find that. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's see what we can find real quick. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think that's a pretty good one. As you can see, well, that's not the best image here, y'all. Yeah, I kind of like this one. I don't mind this one. So yeah, here we go. So you can't see the guy's face here, y'all, but clearly you can see where his the weight is and his back position. And a lot of times when folks squat down and they get into this position, they start bending at the waist too much. And now we have a situation to where now we're doing a squat that we weren't trying to do, and it can become dangerous and you can get hurt. So you got to look out for stuff. So that's what we're talking about when we say good morning squats, right? Also, let's see what else. Your knees caving in. This is basically when you start seeing those knees kind of turn in with your squat. Also overstressing your joints in your knee. Rounding your back. Oh my gosh, I'm going to show you all a picture of that in just a second. Big no-no. And then look at this one, guys. Wearing the wrong shoes. So believe it or not, folks, when you go do your squats and your lunges and your leg day, you're not supposed to do that in running shoes. Okay? Let me say that again. You're not supposed to do your squats and lunges in running shoes. Okay? So yes, when you are doing lower body day, leg day, whatever you call it, squat day, you want to have shoes that have a flat base, a stable ground. They do have specific lifting shoes. There are training shoes. So think of things like that. You don't want running shoes because you're not going to have the right support. Okay. So real quickly, I did want to show y'all that, boy, oh boy, when you think about squats, there's a bunch, right? And even I was surprised when I saw the number and I scrolled through this thing. I said, wow, I've done a bunch of these, right? So I'm going to go through this really quickly because we're getting ready to wrap up. But look at the variations. We got body squats where you don't have any equipment. You got wall squats where you're squatting on the wall. Prisoner squats where you put your hands up. You know, what else? We got pistol squats where you're on one leg, and she stepped it up. She put it on a Bosu, right? Single leg squats. Oh, plie. I was talking about that just a second ago. Great for your inner thighs, but you got to watch out if you have any growing issues, right? What else we got here? Side kick squats. You got split squats. Curtsy squat. Well, this is more of a lunge. I don't know why they put that in squat, but squat walks. Ooh, frog squats. Love those. All right. You got squat jacks. Okay. Overhead squats, right? What else do we have here? We got barbell back squats, dumbbell squats where you hold dumbbells at the side. So again, the point is, folks, there's a lot of different ways to skin this cat that is squats. And at the end of the day, you want to make sure you're keeping the rules in mind and the techniques in mind when you're squatting, all right? So a couple of images here. As you can see, this is kind of that good morning thing we talked about. There's a couple of things going wrong here that we should not have. Number one, you can see that those heels are lifted. So if you look on the right side, you can see that there's a nice stable platform. It looks like he's doing them in running shoes. Oh no. But here we have an issue with the heels being up, and also look at the waist bend. All right. Terrible position here. So if you've ever noticed yourself in this position when you're squatting, stop. All right. Get your chest up, as they say. Have yourself a neutral spine. Keep your eyes facing forward, and you'll have a better squat. As you can see, he's just above 90. This is almost about as good as it gets over here. So if you want to take a picture, mental picture, screenshot it, take a picture with your phone, whatever, this is almost as good as it gets when you're talking about squat technique, right? Again, this one here, which I've used many times, this shows the rounding of the back, which you should never have, right? And then also we got the heels lifted, and then even more, you got your knees way in front of your toes, right? So if we go back here real quick, I wish we had a side angle, but his knees are right in line with his toes. If we go here, oh no. So if you look down and you can't see your knees, I'm sorry, if you look down and you can't see your toes, no bueno, okay? So I really love this image, and this is the last one I'm going to kind of spend a little time on before I wrap up. But I really love this image. And the reason why I love this image is because one of the things I love to coach is when you're doing weightlifting and strength training, that your technique and your form should be about straight lines. Okay, you always want to have straight lines. No rounding, no hunching, no arching, straight lines. And this is so beautiful, right? She's almost perfectly balanced with both bars in her hands here. All right. And then as you see, they drew these lines to show the angles of her lower legs. All right. I wish we had another one right here, but also the angle of her torso and her back. So this is also just about perfect, right? She could go a little bit lower, but it's a beautiful squat. If you look here, her knees are in line or behind her toes. The heels are flat to the ground. She's looking she's facing forward, eyes are facing forward. It's beautiful. All right, so this is the kind of squat that you'd be able to do get good gains, get good results, and have a low risk of injury. Okay. Again, I wanted to show you this one again because this is with barbells, and as you can see, she's just about a little bit too low for me. I might be up, another inch or so. I like his depth. This is almost perfect, but again, their knees are in line or behind their toes, and even though they have that barbell on their back, they're still facing forward. This is super important to be facing forward. I guess they're staring in each other's eyes a little bit here as they squat, but nevertheless, beautiful squats. All right. So real quick, review so we can wrap this up, y'all. And I'll get to your question that I already saw that you asked within the first 5 minutes. All right. Get to that one in just a second. So again, we talked about the benefits of squats, good for your internal body, your joints, your muscles, your ligaments, and it helps you feel and look good, right? We talked about the steps for doing squats. You want to make sure that you adjust your stance based on your legs. Imagine a seat behind you. Make sure that your feet are shoulder width apart. Descend slowly. Make sure the pressure is always through the heels and the middle part of your foot, right? We talked about many different mistakes. I'm not going to go through all of those again. Welcome to watch the video over and over again, but there's a bunch of them, right? And we showed you that there are so many different ways to squat, but no matter how you squat, you always want to keep the same principles in mind with squatting. And we also went over some imagery to show you what squats should and should not look like. All right. So Q&A time. All right. So like I already said, I already had a question. What is that? I already had a question. Let me read it again here. Oh yeah. So what about lunge technique? Is it similar to squats? Okay. So yeah, lunges are another exercise. Excellent for your lower body, excellent for your thighs and glutes. And yes, absolutely, 100% positive. I lost my train of thought. Yes, lunges, lunge technique is going to be almost identical to squats. You know, the only different thing is, and real quick, I'll just show y'all, if anybody hasn't heard of lunges, right? Real quick. Let me pull that up for y'all. So real quick, as you can see, what's a good one real quick? Yeah, so you can see when you finish up, and I'm literally just trying to find something. But yeah, when you step out and do a lunge, as you can see some of the principles stay the same. We want to make sure the knees stay in line or behind the toes. As you can see, eyes are facing forward, all right? Nice straight lines with the torso, straight lines here, straight lines here. Excellent picture for a lunge. So yes, to answer your question, absolutely, lunge technique is going to be very, very similar with squat technique. All right. I don't think I saw any more today. Quiet out there in the universe of Q&A. But yes, keep in mind that, folks, we will be doing these streams every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Also every Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time as well. So make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, because if your notifications aren't on, how are you going to know when I make my next video, right? Also, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fitness Charles. That's at Fitness Charles. You can also visit me at fitnesscharles.com. And real soon, big news is coming. All right. I'm getting ready to relaunch my Fit Forever Family Body Transformation Program. All right. Making some tweaks. We're changing this thing. We're making this thing beautiful, making it lovely, making it excellent, making it incredible. And we're going to make it work, right? So be on the lookout for that. We're getting ready to start a raffle. We're going to have some lucky winners win my entire, I'm getting nervous just saying giving it away, my entire 12-week program, right? My entire 12-week. It's a 90-day body transformation program that I put my blood, sweat, and tears, my heart and soul into, and it is designed for you to learn how to be fit forever. So stay tuned for that launch date. I'm planning on getting this ready for June 1st, but we'll see. We may have to push it back, but pay attention, all right? So if you have questions about that, again, always drop me a note. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Fitness Charles, all right? I will check y'all next time. I will see y'all Saturday at 1 p.m.